Today we're going to talk about using classes in CSS. So we're going to, I need you to open up the notes, and then we're going to work on a web lab. So first, go ahead and open up your notes. And I'm going to go through this pretty fast. Pause if you need to. But we're going to start by talking about, we're actually going to look back and look at HTML tags. And the purpose of an HTML tag, there's three of them actually. First one, it provides a basic structure for our web page. So if you think about your vacation project that you made, the headings were big and the paragraphs were small and the lists were all lined up, and we did all that with just HTML. So HTML provides that structure to our web page without too much effort. And then it also gives us a place to put our attributes. And remember, our attributes is more information that we need for that tag. So you think about an A tag. To make a link, we have to be able to tell the browser somehow where we want that link to go. And that's what an attribute does. An attribute allows we use the href attribute to tell it which page to go to. And then finally, it gives us a way to categorize everything on the page. So we talked about before, everything needs to be in a tag of some sort. Either it's a P tag or an H tag, everything needs to be tagged. And then we can use that tag to style in CSS. And that's what we've been doing so far. We've been using tags as our selector. So in this example, all of my H1 tags are going to be red, and they're all going to be 60-point font. But what if I wanted to style one tag two different ways? Okay, so if I wanted some of my H1s to be red and some of them to be blue, this wouldn't allow that. All of my H1 tags are going to be red. And what if I wanted to style different tags the same way? So if I wanted a paragraph and an H1 to look the same, obviously this wouldn't do that. Okay, it's only working on H1s, and it works on all the H1s. So what we're going to learn today is these two things. We're going to learn how to style different tags different ways, and style different tags the same way, and style the same tag different ways. And we do that with a class. A class is a selector that we create, and we can use that selector with any tag. And then that allows us to use multiple tags, to style multiple tags the same way. So I can use it on a P tag, or I can use it on an H1 tag. And then it also allows me to style the same tag different ways. So I can style this H1 tag one way and style the other one in another way. So this is what we've been doing so far, right? We've been using H1 tags, or we've been using tags as the selector. And what we're going to start doing now is using a class as a selector. So this is a class that I've made. I called it craft. And notice this dot here. This is what distinguishes it from a tag. So this is obviously the name of a tag. And this is what tells the browser, hey, we're not looking for tags right now. We're looking for classes. So on an HTML page, we need to tell it which class each tag is, or we need to tell it which tags we want to be classed as craft. So we use this one here. You can see, class equals quote craft. And then the same thing here in this paragraph tag, class equals craft. And notice that is inside the tag here. It's inside of our angle brackets. And then on our CSS page, we use the dot craft, and then we tell it what style. So both of these now are going to be blue, and they're going to be 60-point font. Okay, both of them, even though this one's an H1 and this one's a P. Now we get to choose the name of our classes, and the only rules is that there cannot be any spaces, and it cannot start with a number. Also, the dot goes in the CSS, not the HTML. So for example, if I wanted to say craft class, I'd have to just take out that space. Or if I wanted it to say 404 room, I'd have to change it to room 404. Okay, so it cannot start with a number and it cannot have a space. So let's try this in our web lab. So go back to Canvas and click on superhero page. Click on view code and remix and open up your, zoom in a little bit here. There we go. Open up your web lab. And let's start by taking a look at the HTML code. You can see all of these are H1s. So if I went to my style sheet and I said background, so I'm in my H1 rule set, and I said background yellow, notice it changes all of these backgrounds to yellow. I don't want that. I want to be able to go through and change the color of each of these by themselves. So delete that. Now notice this. This says dot Parker, so it's a class, and it says color red, background blue. So I want to make this Spider-Man red and blue. And I'm going to use this class to do it, the dot Parker class or the Parker class. And all I do is I go to Spider-Man and I got to go inside the tag, and I say class equals, quote, Parker. And you can see now, notice there's no dot, dot's only in the CSS. Now I got this as red and blue. There we go. And I've got another one down here that says Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I want to make this red and blue too, so I'm going to use the same class because I've already got it made. And you can see now this one is red and blue as well. So I've got different, I'm using the same class on two different H1s and turning them both red and blue. Let's make one. We'll make one for Batman. We got 3 Batman movies, Batman, Dark Knight, and Justice League. So let's make one for Batman. Sorry. All right, I'm going to call it .Wayne. And it's going to say color yellow and background black. Don't forget your semicolons. This won't work if you don't have semicolons. And now I go to my HTML, and I'm just going to put class equals Wayne. And I can do the same thing for my other ones. Now I got 3 more movies, Iron Man, Avengers, and Age of Ultron. Those are all Iron Man movies, so I need to make one for Iron Man. So I'm going to call this .Stark. And we're going to say color gold and background crimson. And now I got to go put these into that class. Class equals Stark. You can see now all my Iron Man movies are crimson and gold. One more thing I want to do is I want to put a paragraph here underneath Spider-Man and say why it is the best. So I'm going to use my P tag and I'm going to say Spider-Man is the best because dot, 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 dot. And I'm going to close my P tag. Now I've got this paragraph here and I want this paragraph to match this heading. I don't need to make a new rule set. I've already got the rule set that says black and or blue and red. So all I need to do is just add this paragraph to the class here. Now you can see it also is red and blue. Okay, so you don't, so a class can go to different tags. Like this one's an H1 tag, this one's a paragraph tag. Class can go to different tags and still work. And that is how classes work.